Okay, everyone, and welcome to another arts writing prep lesson. Today's lesson is going to be about substitution and ellipsis. Okay, just before I go into substitution and ellipsis, I'm going to talk a little bit about coherence and cohesion, coherence especially. Cohesion especially because this is what we're going to be focused on today. Okay, so what is cohesion in writing? So cohesive devices, what they do is they help us to follow the ideas. Okay, the easier it is for people to follow your ideas, the more coherent your writing will be. And coherent means easy to understand. Okay, so these devices, they help us to follow ideas and they link ideas. Okay, so cohesive devices, they link words and phrases together within a sentence. They link sentences together, and they link paragraphs. So we're really joining sentences, words, phrases, and paragraphs together. And we're making it easier for the reader, which in an IELTS exam is going to be the examiner, to follow ideas and to understand. Now, here we have what we call basic cohesive devices. Basic cohesive devices, we have conjunctions, fanboys, we talked about this in previous lessons. We have for, and, nor, but, or, yet, and so. These are used to join two independent clauses. So these are clauses that can stand alone and have full meaning without anything else added to it. And then we have adverbs, conjunctive adverbs, firstly, secondly, moreover, furthermore, on the other hand, as a result, consequently, and so on. Then we have subordinate conjunctions, if, when, even though, since, after, and so on, although, and so on. These are called subordinating conjunctions. Okay, all these are labeled under basic cohesive devices. Now, for a band 7 in coherence and cohesion, one of the requirements is that we have a range of cohesive devices. Okay, so we need a range, and we need to make sure that we do not make any of the mistakes made in a band 6. So cohesion within sentences may be faulty, so there might be mistakes with linkers, or they might be mechanical. Now, to understand mechanical, I definitely recommend that you watch one of the lessons presented by Amina Shibani, an ex-writing examiner. Okay, I've uploaded that video on my YouTube channel, IELTS Writing Prep. So basically, what Amina was talking about in terms of mechanical was the overuse of basic cohesive devices, especially that the conjunctive adverbs like moreover, furthermore, in addition. And she gave some tips to avoid using too many of these, such as starting off additional, instead of using in addition, furthermore, and moreover, we could add phrases like another reason, another cause, instead of saying in addition. Yeah, another advantage of blah 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 is. So this way we can reduce the number of basic cohesive devices in our writing and avoid being mechanical. Okay, so of course, when we want a range, do we just want basic cohesive devices? And the answer is no. Okay, there are many different types of cohesive devices other than the linkers, other ways of helping people to follow our ideas. And today we're going to talk about two of them. Okay, 2 types of text reference. Okay, so how we refer to different things in text. Okay, substitution and ellipsis are both devices for avoiding unnecessary repetition of words, phrases, and clauses in speech and writing. Okay, so they refer to other things within a text, and they help us to avoid repeating the same words and repeating the same phrases and so on. Okay, so a quick idea and introduction to ellipsis, to substitution. Here we have Labour voted for the change and Liberals voted for the change too. If you notice, we have a phrase here, voted for the change, and Liberals voted for the change. So we're repeating the same phrase 2 times. What we do with substitution is we can reduce repetition, and we have different ways of doing so. So here we have Labour voted for the change and Liberals did too. Okay, in this lesson I'm going to give you numerous ways of using substitution and ellipsis, and hopefully towards the end of the lesson I will give you some exercises and you can practice using ellipsis, substitution and ellipsis. So let's take a look at different ways of using substitution. Now, in order to avoid repeating nouns, the easiest and the most common way that we all use every day is to use personal pronouns. So this is something very basic: subject pronouns, object pronouns, possessive pronouns, and reflexive pronouns. So these are very simple and basic ways of referring to nouns and avoiding repeating a noun. Now, even though some of you think that this is very, very simple, just using he or she and it, many, many mistakes are made with pronouns. And it's very important to avoid making mistakes with reference links, because reference links could take away your marks for grammar. They could take away your marks also for cohesion. So one of the reasons why it's important to try and finish 5 minutes early is especially to check pronouns, because even native speakers, when they're writing, they will make so many mistakes with pronouns. And it's not because we don't know grammar, it's because when we're writing and sometimes we lose a little bit of focus and we use the wrong pronoun. Okay, so here we have some pronouns. Who can type what the pronouns that are underlined are referring to? So I haven't numbered them, but let's say 1, 2, and 3. Who can type what the pronouns in each of the 3 sentences are referring to? So number one, we have he. Okay, so number 1, yes, definitely Thomas. Okay, number 2, we have she, it. How many do we have? So number 2, we have she, we have it, we have she, and we have it. So what is she referring to? Excellent. So we have she referring to Lisa, and it. Excellent. And it. Excellent. Now, imagine that in the writing that we didn't use pronouns, it would be very repetitive. So Lisa was passionate about politics. Lisa loved politics so much that Lisa majored in politics at university. How does that sound? Lisa was passionate about politics. Lisa loved politics so much that Lisa majored in politics at university. How does that sound? Yeah, definitely repetitive. Okay. Thank you, Sanika. Yeah, boring, repetitive. Yep. Okay, next one. Peter was good at what he did. Talent like his. So what are we doing here? We have he and we have his. Like what we're talking about? Okay. Yes. So both of them, thank you. Both of them are referring to Peter. We're saying his as in Peter's and he being Peter. Excellent. Okay. So this is very simple stuff, and I'm sure we all know, how to, use pronouns. But sometimes we have to make sure that we get taking the time to check them, because these are considered cohesive devices, and also they will be marked in grammar as well. So make sure that you're getting these pronouns right. Now, another way of using substitution is by using the pronoun one or ones after adjectives or demonstratives. Okay, so here we have, I love cola. Can I have a cold one? So what are we trying to avoid in the first sentence? Okay, is it Manpreet is asking to see the previous screen? I'll just, is it this one here? Okay. Okay. Right, let's move on. So let's get back. So I love cola. Can I have a cold one? There should be a question mark there. Sorry for the typo. So what's one here referring to? Definitely the cola. Okay, number two. John had some successes in business. However, he did not have any great ones. So what's ones here referring to? Excellent. Okay. Number two, what's ones referring to here? Okay. Yeah, successes, because this is in the plural, right? So this is in the plural. So we're talking about successes here. Okay. Yeah. So of course it helps us to avoid unnecessary repetition. So instead of saying I love cola, can I have a cola? A cold cola, it would be, a lot more efficient and less repetitive using one or ones. The car was popular among youth, and this one is no exception. So what's one referring to here? Yes, definitely we're using one to refer to a car. Okay, excellent. Okay, so another way of using substitution is by using quantifiers. So we can use the quantifier some, all, each, none, either, neither, other, a few, enough. All of these are quantifiers that we can use to substitute nouns. Okay, so let's take a look at some examples and see what we're substituting. So here we have many boys joined the maths class. Some enjoyed it and continued, while others didn't and decided to quit. Okay, so here we have quantifiers and also personal pronouns as well. So what's some referring to in one? Some, it, others. Okay. Excellent. Excellent. So we have many boys. So we have some boys, some of the boys enjoyed it. So it is the math class. And continued while others. So here we're talking about boys. Excellent. And the last one, others being referring to boys again. Okay. Let's go to the second one. Some people believe that smoking in public places should be banned, while others disagree. So what do we have there? We have others referring to, yes, people, yeah. So we're referring to people there. Yeah. There's two things there. There's actually, yeah, there's substitution and there's also ellipsis there as well. It's like a 2-in-1 because we're saying others, meaning other people. So we're dropping the word people and we're using others as a substitute as well. So yeah, that's kind of a 2-in-1. Usually when we're doing discussion essays, some people believe blah, 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 other people believe blah, 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 blah. So in this type of question, we can use this substitution and ellipsis because some believe blah, 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 whereas others hold the opinion that, and then we can state that. Excellent. Okay, I took 2 types of medicine to help me, but neither worked. So what's neither? Okay, so Esma, yes, Esma said types of medicine, the 2 types of medicine. Salih has said the same. So we're talking about referring to the 2 types of medicine there. Excellent. Okay. So let's take a look at a few more. So here we have the use of new vaccines were introduced this year. Both were effective in fighting numerous viruses. So we have both. Okay, so we have both vaccines. Excellent. Let's move on to the next one. Good. The students got outstanding marks. Only a few got less than 80%. Excellent. So I think you all agree that we're talking about students here, yeah? Okay. Right. Let's take a look at verbs. So we talked about nouns. So we said with nouns we could have personal pronouns, and we have pronouns like one and ones, and we also have different types of quantifiers: some, other, neither, either, a few, and so on. Now we want to take a look at verbs. How can we substitute verbs and put a verb in the place of another one? Right. So here we can use different forms of the verb do. Okay, so it could be did, does, do, done, and so on, to avoid repeating a verb. They lived close to where I did. The teacher took more than I did. Nothing helps as much as this medicine does. John takes classes, and many other children do too. So number 1, lived. Good. Number 2, the teacher took more than I did. Okay, took. Excellent. Number 3, nothing helps as much as this medicine does. So what's does here in number 3? Helps. Excellent. Good stuff, guys. John takes classes and many other children do too. Okay. Good. Very good. Okay. Now let's move on to different types of, so now we have like a phrase, like a group of words. So not just one verb. We're going to take a verb with a noun and, you know, or a full phrase there. Okay. So let's take a look. So we have some examples here. When a person wants to stay fit, they should only do so with a planned exercise program. So here we're not talking about one verb. We have a phrase here, yeah? Okay. Let's see what we have. Excellent, yeah. So here we're talking about staying fit. Let's move on to the second one. Many students only study hard the day before the exam. Those who do so or do that usually do not get the best marks. So here I have do so or do that. What's that referring to? Excellent. So here we have study hard, and then we have like the full phrase. So the day before the exam. So this is the phrase, yeah? Yeah. A question, can we use they when we have a person? Can we use they? Whoever asked that didn't watch the lesson or didn't attend the lesson on gender neutral language. Yes, this is good because we don't want to say he and we don't want to say she. So we could say they. I'm sure there are many other ways of doing it, but now I don't want to lose focus and go on to something else. Please watch the video because there are not many videos, if any videos. I don't think there are any videos that go into the depth that I went into using gender neutral language. So please watch that video and remember to hit like as well. Okay, so where were we? So those who do that, so we said study hard the day before the exam. Excellent. So who can find another pronoun that we're using here to substitute that's not related to the verb? Who can find something not related to a verb? So not do so. We're looking for something else that's another pronoun that's referring to something else. Yeah. Good. Good. Do I have who there as well? Yeah. We even have who. Yeah, the people there. Excellent. We do have relative pronoun as well. Thank you for that. Excellent. So we have those referring to the students. Okay. So the students that do that usually do not get the best marks. Excellent. I know sometimes some of you might think that these are very simple things, but this is what, you know, writing is about, you know, and sometimes we don't notice if we do something or if we don't do something until we take a lesson and we kind of start to understand what it is that we, you know, what it is that we should be doing or shouldn't be doing. I think the next time you read an essay, hopefully that will bring to your attention how these devices are being used like substitution and ellipsis, and maybe you could take a look at some model essays, maybe by Simon or, you know, one of the famous writers, and you can underline the different devices used for substitution and ellipsis, and you can appreciate the writing a little bit more. Then maybe you can take a look at your own writing and see, you know what, am I repeating any words here? Are there any devices, cohesive devices that I could have used? Are there any pronouns that I could have used? And, you know, you'll notice that, you know, when they are done well and when they are not done well, especially when you've written it yourself and you've made some mistakes there. So, of course, formal writing, we want it to be as concise as possible. We don't want it to be repetitive. We want it to be straight to the point and not just, you know, going on and on and on for no reason. Okay, so let's get back. So here, what do we have? We have the mayor made a terrible mistake. Okay. Now we're talking about something a little bit different. So now we're taking a look at the whole clause. So a clause is a subject and a verb, and, you know, if it is followed up by a complement, yeah? So we can use it, this, and that to refer back to a whole clause. Here we have some examples of this being done. So we have the first one, the mayor made a terrible decision. This angered all the people in the city. So we have this here. What's that referring to? Yeah, the full sentence. Thank you, Satish. So this is referring to the whole of the sentence. So we don't have to repeat it all again. Yeah, the mayor made a terrible mistake. The mayor making the terrible mistake angered all the people. So it's just, you know, a lot more straight to the point. This angered all the people in the city. Of course, there are different ways, you know. And for the people who took my lesson on defining relative clauses, and, you know, the two lessons on relative clauses and so on, should know that we practiced using which to comment on a full clause. So we could say which angered all the people in the city. So we have more than one way. So sometimes we don't have to repeat this, 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 or which. We have different alternatives. Okay, so here we have this, the full sentence. Let's take a look at the second sentence. What do we have? The manager fired 7 employees and many people were angered by it. So it's it here. What clause is it referring to? Okay, excellent. So we have the first clause. So the first clause, the manager fired 7 employees. So this is the first clause, and were angered by, yeah, so we don't have to repeat it again, angered by the manager firing, you know, that would be a little bit too much. Okay, the next one, many of the latest models have been recalled. So recalled is when we ask for the product to be brought back. Okay, I think this happened with Toyota a few years back. So many of the models were recalled because of a fault in the steering. This has caused embarrassment to the manufacturers. Okay, so what's this referring to here? Okay, that's the thing. Okay, so here we're saying many. Yeah, the first sentence, we're talking about the whole situation here. Yeah, the whole situation of the models being recalled, it embarrassed. It embarrassed the manufacturer. Okay, so that was very embarrassing for the manufacturer because it had a fault. Now, who can tell me from the people who did the defining relative clauses lesson with me, what else could we do? What could we replace this? If we could, how could we replace it? What could we do? Salih Satish, you're saying which, but I'm going to say which alone is not going to do the trick. Nope. Which is why it has caused, but still, we still have a problem. We have a problem. We can't just put which, and there's a reason why. Who's feeling cool? Why can't I just put which? Okay, I'm going to ask you another question. If I put which here, would this be a defining relative clause or a non-defining relative clause? Who can tell me? If I put which here, let's say I dropped the full stop and I put which here. Would it be defining, giving me necessary information, or giving additional information? A non-defining relative clause. Yes, okay. I'm agreeing with Saliha and Manpreet, and I'm going to say it's additional information. So when we give additional information that's not necessary, what do we do before that? What do we do before we give additional information with a non-defining relative clause, like which, who, where, and so on? What do we do? How do we know it's a non-defining relative clause? When we look at it, there must be something. Aha. Salih, yeah, comma. Yeah. But I'm going to go back to Satish. Actually, even Manpreet as well, because some of you are saying commas. Commas. Why do I need commas? Where's the second comma going to go? I'm with you, Saliha. One comma. But I need to know from Manpreet or Satish where the second comma is going to go. Where would you put it? If you're going to put two commas, tell me where you'd like to put them. Okay, yes. So we're only going to put one comma. If we put which there, we'd only put one comma there, and we put a full stop, because when the non-defining relative clause comes at the end of the sentence, we finish it with a full stop and not with a comma. Excellent. Okay, so let's move on to ellipsis. So ellipsis is when we drop a word or we totally drop a phrase. Okay, so this is so we do not use a word to replace it whatsoever. We just drop the word. Okay, without any substitution. So we can use ellipsis to omit nouns or pronouns in the second clause of a compound sentence. So a compound sentence is a sentence that we have two independent clauses and we have a coordinating conjunction in the middle. So coordinating conjunctions are like fanboys: for, and, nor, but, or, yet, or so. These are coordinating conjunctions. So when we have a coordinating conjunction in the middle of two independent clauses, we can omit the second subject when it is the same. So Lisa walks up to the counter and she. So here we're talking about Lisa again. Oh, sorry. So here we're talking about Lisa, so we can omit it. Okay. Usually in formal writing, we don't do this. So for the people who are doing the general exam, yeah, it's fine to do this in informal English. Okay. We were happy for her to pass, but were sad to see her go. So here again, we have we missing here because we have the same subject. Okay, so I would avoid this in informal. Now, for those who are taking the GT exam, you'll be taking letters. So in letters, sometimes we drop the pronoun when the pronoun is clear. In informal letters, of course. So say, hi, hope you're well. So here we're even omitting I am. I am a bit busy with work. Okay, I've got a question about non-defined relative clauses. I'll get back to it after the lesson so I don't disrupt substitution and ellipsis. Okay, so hi, I hope you are well. It's clear who's speaking, so it's I. The reader knows that you're the one that hopes that they are well, so we can drop it. But this is, of course, with informal letters. Okay. Okay, so I'm getting a question about before the coordinating conjunction and okay, I'm getting a question about commas with coordinating conjunctions. It's not really that related to this lesson. So a comma before a coordinating conjunction is optional. So you can put it or you can drop it. It's not an issue. Okay. A lot of people, they don't like to use commas before coordinating conjunctions, but this is a matter of style. A matter, everyone has their own style. I use too many commas and people don't like it when I write. So, nowadays I try to drop them, here and there just to, lessen the number of commas. So it's fine, you can choose. Okay, so let's get back to ellipsis here. So here we have, it should be I hope. And it's clear who's the one that is hoping, so we don't have to put I here. Okay. Here we have a bit busy with work. So here, who's a bit busy? I am a bit busy with work, but I will see you later. I must go now. Okay, so this is a style of writing informal. In informal, we drop the pronouns, especially I, or the pronouns that are clear. So when it's obvious for the person who is, who the pronoun, what the pronoun is, then we can drop it. I really suggest reading a lot of informal letters. The people taking GT, honestly, when I'm working with people taking GT, they will just want to focus on task 2. They want to focus on task 2, and they send me task 2 after task 2, and I work with them on task 2. And some of them, the task 2s are very, very good. And I can't understand why they're not getting a band 7. And I asked them, please, can you send me a task 1, please? Can you send me a letter, please? And they send me a letter. And especially if it's an informal letter, it's an absolute disaster. And the reason is because it's so formal and it's so complete, and the style of writing is just not there, And it's difficult because if you haven't been born in a country, or you haven't lived in a country where you write a lot of letters in informal English, or you haven't got a lot of exposure to letters informal letters, then you won't be able to feel that, you know, this style. So for people who are doing GT, focus a lot on informal letters, because this is something, you know, a style that's difficult to pick up. As for formal letters, you know, it's a little bit easier because it's closer to academic writing, because it's formal in style and so on. Yeah, so informal style is something that's very, very important. You know, get as many examples of informal letters as you can from written by natives. I'm sure you can find thousands online, and just read it and expose yourself again and again and again until you absorb all that kind of all the language used and the style used for writing informal letters. Okay, so here we have omitting the verb, okay, after auxiliary verbs. So we know that auxiliary verbs were, has, have, can, could, should. All of these are auxiliary verbs, and we have the verb that comes after it. When we are repeating it, we can drop it and it is clear. Let's take a look at some of the examples. So, the students were writing their homework, or at least they said they were. So here we have the auxiliary verb were, writing their homework. Yeah. So here we're going to drop it when it is repeated. So we read up to the auxiliary verb and we write up to the auxiliary verb and we stop. Even though the number of drivers has gone down, the number of accidents hasn't. So hasn't what? Hasn't gone down. Okay. Of course, this could be formal English as well. So it could be I'm just writing, you know, examples here. So even though the number of drivers has gone down, the number of accidents has not. It could be formal. The prices of houses have dropped more than the prices of flats have. Okay, this could be academic task 1, and you could avoid writing a verb or a verb phrase by dropping a repetitive verb after an auxiliary verb, of course. The price of houses, sorry, we've done that. These students can run a lot faster than the other ones can. Okay, so here these students can run a lot faster than the other ones can. So we stop there without repeating can. Okay, let's move on. Ellipsis. So we did with auxiliary verbs, so like was, were, you know, have, has, can, could, should, would, and so on, all types of auxiliary verbs. Now we're going to use to plus infinitive. Yeah. So I've not been to Paris. However, I intend to. It's not the same verb form, but it means intend to go to Paris here. Okay, so we're not going to repeat it again. Okay, the Germans did not win the cup, but, or maybe however, if it's a little bit more informal, sorry, formal English, maybe we'll say, however, they expected to what? Of course, to win the World Cup. I don't have to go, but I want to. Want to what? Of course, we are dropping the verb go. Okay, I'll let you find the forms of substitution here. You have 10 sentences. So write the number and the word that was used for substitution. So let me do number 1. I went to the new shop. It was very expensive. So here we have the pronoun it, replacing the shop. Okay, so let's take a look at the other ones and tell me what forms of substitution, what words for substitution you have in each of these sentences. Actually, let's do it one at a time just to make it a little bit easier for you all. So let's do number 2 first. Have you seen Braveheart? I recommend you do so. So which word or words are we using for substitution in number 2? Okay. Excellent. So we have, I recommend you do so. And what is do so referring to? I recommend you do so. I recommend you see Braveheart. Okay, so we don't want to repeat all that. And we're replacing it with do so. Let's take a look at number 3. What do you have for number 3, guys? All of the cars are faulty, including this one. Excellent. I wouldn't say Satish put every car or all of them. No. So this one is not talking about all of the cars. It's talking specifically about this car. So all of the cars are faulty, including this one. One means this car. Okay. So not referring to all of them. It says this one. Number 4. I saw John. He was wearing a blue t-shirt. So where is the pronoun that's used for substitution? Excellent. Excellent. So we have he there. Fantastic. Fantastic. Okay. Good. Number 5. The boys all chose to buy the small pack of crisps because it was cheaper for them. What can you find there? How many do you have? Okay, excellent. So we have small pack of crisps, it, and we have the boys being referred to as them. Very good. 6. Mary went to France and I did too. Okay. I don't think the 2 is related, really. I don't think the 2 is related. 2 means as well. 2 means as well. Yeah. So what is it exactly that that we're using? So let's forget about the 2. What do we have that's referring to something? Okay, so we have did. Thank you, Esma. Thank you. So we have did means, what does did mean? Mary went to France and I did. So did. What's did here referring to? Is it just? Yeah. Okay. So here it's and I went to. So here we're talking about really going to France, really. So I went to France too. Okay. Good. Good. Some people argue that it is negative, that it is a negative development. Others think the opposite. So what do we have? Some people argue that it is negative, a negative. Others think the opposite. Okay. Others is referring to people. Okay, good. 8. I'd like a cold drink and Mary would like a hot one. Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Satish. We're not sure what it is because it probably came from the sentence before it. Yeah. So let's move on to number 8. Like a hot one. Yeah, definitely the drink there. Yeah. Excellent. Number 9. I tried 2 types of medicine, but neither of them worked. So what's the word that we're using for? What word are we using for substitution? Yeah, both. Thank you, Manpreet. So we have neither and we have them. Both of them are referring, yeah. Both of them are referring to the 2 types of medicine. Okay. You have 3 pens. Can I borrow one? Can I borrow one? Okay, one being a pen. Okay, good. Okay. I'm not sure how clear this is. Right. Now we're going to take a look at an exercise from Longman Advanced Learners Grammar, page 332. And let's see if we can find out what the pronouns are referring to. Now, I'm just going to give you guys 2 minutes you might have to pick up your phone, put it close to you, or look really carefully to fully be able to read it. So I'll give you a couple of minutes just to read through. And if you have a piece of pen and paper, maybe you want to just write down the answers, and then we'll go through them together as a group. Okay, so the clock on the platform was showing midnight as the train drew in. Miriam checked her ticket against the sign. So her referring to Miriam here, this is the example. Against the sign on the window. Opened the door to the coach, to coach H. So opened the door to coach H, climbed in and shut it. So what's it here? Definitely. So here we, good. So here it is referring to the door. Gently
behind her. So Miriam. The train was already reaching its. So what do we have here? Its highest speed. Yeah. Good. So here we are referring to, good, the trains, yeah? High speed. Thundering across the country towards Warsaw when Miriam dropped her bag. So who's her here? Okay. Good. Miriam. Thank you. In the correct compartment. She thought briefly of the few kilometers already behind her and the many. What's the many referring to here? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So here, this is a type of quantifier. Yeah. I think we did some, many, others, and so on. So here we have the many ahead. Then she bent to her bags. She lifted the two small ones. Good. Bags. Onto the overhead rack, but the large one was a different matter. So she pulled it. Good. Good. We have the large one. Thank you. Close to her seat and sat down. Alone in the carriage, she contemplated her future. She hadn't expected this. This. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Actually, I didn't cover this part, but also we can use pronouns, what we call cataphorically. Cataphorically is referring to something that comes in afterwards. Okay. So I didn't cover this. So here we're talking about the job opportunity in Warsaw. Okay, so this is called the cataphoric reference. I didn't cover it. I kept it, basic. It's not that common that we use cataphoric referencing. Had come unexpectedly. She always wanted to return to the city of her birth and that of her parents. So what is that referring to here? And that she wanted to, yeah, she wanted to, oh, sorry, where are we? I've lost it. She also wanted to return to the city of her birth and that, okay, of her parents. So here we're talking about the city of birth of her parents, yeah? The city of her birth and that, the city of the birth of her parents. But hadn't thought she would do it. What's do it here? Okay, we have some people who have not been active today. Asma, was it Khalifa? Okay, some people not been active. Okay, return to the city. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, Within 2 weeks of leaving college. At first, she had discounted the job so far away from home, and her parents had done so. Had done so too. So what's had done so? Thank you, Satish. Discounted the job. So yeah. So maybe at the beginning they thought, oh, I can't do this. There's no way that I'm going to get this job. So we just discounted it. So didn't take it, you know, didn't think maybe it was possible. Okay. But they had all spoken to her prospective employers at the time on the phone, after which no. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So this is basically after, yeah, after speaking to the prospective employers. Yeah. So after speaking to them, their concerns were laid to rest. Who's there? Who's there now? I don't think it's the employers. I don't think it's the employers who were worried. I think it's somebody else who's worried, not the employer. Yeah, I think it's Miriam and her parents. They were a bit worried, yeah. So Miriam and her parents were worried, and their concerns were laid to rest, so they could relax. They were reassured. Miriam closed her eyes and allowed the rhythm of the speeding train to lull her to sleep. Okay, so let's take a look at. Okay, last exercise just before we go. Just before we finish, can we? Oh, maybe it's not the last. Maybe there's one more. But anyway, so let's take a look at these and see, you know, if we could replace any of the words with substitution, with something to substitute it with, maybe a pronoun or a quantifier or a verb do, and so on. So what can we replace? Let's take a look at number one. She had a lot of water. I needed water. So what could we do for one? No, not two. No. Oh, that. She had a lot of water. I needed that. Okay. I think there's something better than that, though. What could we do that's better than that? One? Maybe if it's bottles. Maybe if it's bottles, but what if it's not bottles? What would we say? In the uncountable form, what could we say maybe? Yeah, Esma. I think, yeah, I agree with Esma. I think some is probably the best. Yeah, Saliha, thank you. Same answer. Okay, so she had a lot of water. I needed some water because it's uncountable, yeah? So two, he went to Paris. I wish I could go to Paris. I think there are a lot of, yeah, there are a lot of different ways, yeah? We could do ellipsis, yeah? We have could here, an auxiliary verb, don't we? We could drop go to Paris. He went to Paris. I wish I could. And we could just drop everything. What about a place? What's something that we could use to refer to a place? So instead of saying Paris, what could we use to refer to Paris? It's a type of adverb. There, thank you. Thank you, Satish. So we could say, he went to Paris, I wish I could go there. Yep, not there with a T-H-E-I-R, there as in T-H-E-R-E. I wish I could go there. Okay, that's a good one. My friend likes big cars. I like small cars. What could we do with that one? Number 3. Good, good, good. Good, good, good. I like it. Ones, yeah. I like small ones. Number 4. Ali is a great friend. I love Ali. So what could we put there? Yeah, him sounds good. Object pronoun, yeah, it's a good substitution. Good. Okay, I have many friends. I love my friends. Okay, sounds good. I love them to replace friends. Good. Good, good, good. My friend voted Labour and I voted for Labour. So what could we do here? But still, if you put 2, yeah, if you put 2, my friend voted for Labour and I voted for Labour too, we're still repeating some stuff. No, I don't think 2 is good. No. Here we have a verb phrase, voted for Labour, voted for Labour. And here we have voted for Labour. Yeah, okay. Maybe an I did too. I did too. We can't say do, so we put I do so, do, because, you know, it's the past, yeah, it's voted, yeah. So my friend voted for Labour and I did too. Okay, Omar doesn't help as much as Lisa helps. Okay, yeah, we can do so did I, but yeah, it's a little bit informal. I'm just trying to, yeah, so did I. That's good. Omar does not help as much as Lisa. Good. Good. Thank you. Yeah, it's Lisa does, yeah. When I teach maths in a very simple way. What's something that's repeated and how could we avoid that? Here I have I teach maths and here I have I teach maths. Okay, Salih is saying let's put I teach it in a very simple way. But how could we get rid of all this phrase? Teach maths. Teach maths. How could we change all of that? Okay, so if I just say do, is that enough? When I teach maths, I do in a very simple way. I think there's something else. I think we could do something else. I do it. I like it. I do it. That's good. Or we could say I do. There's another word we could use. Yep. We could say I do so. Yeah, so when I teach maths, I do so in a very simple way. Yes. Can we use it? Yes, we can. Yeah, we can. It's just that I'm trying to substitute as much as I can. So if I can substitute and change 2 words, it's better. I went to the new restaurant. I think you should go to the new restaurant too. Aha. Should go to the new restaurant too. Should go to. That's good. But what else? I want as many ways as you can think of. What else can you think of? Should go there. Ah, there is nice too. What about ellipsis? What could we do with ellipsis? We have a modal verb there. Can anyone think of anything? What if we wanted to use ellipsis? Ah, thank you, Saliha. Thank you. So here we have, I think you, oh, maybe we could just say, I think you should. I went to the new restaurant, I think you should. And stop there for ellipsis. Yeah, so of course there are many different ways that we could use substitution, we could use ellipsis, many different ways of doing that, yeah. So I'll let you guys take a look at this. It's not, doesn't really have that much meaning, it's just nonsense, something that I typed up, quickly, just to test, you know, reference links. So it's not really an authentic text or anything like that. I just typed it quickly just to try and get as many reference links as I could, and ellipsis. So find examples of substitution and ellipsis. So I'll give you guys 5 minutes. Okay, so let's take a look at this exercise. John was very happy to be at the stadium. He took a camera with him. Do we have any form of substitution or ellipsis here? Yeah, yes, he. Yeah, definitely we have he referring to John. Okay, a camera with him. Okay, yes. Good stuff, Saliha, Satish. Yep, we are referring to John. I wish I had done so. Yeah, it's not took a camera, it's actually taken a camera, but because we are, here we're using I wish, so we're going to use the past perfect form after it. So I wish I had taken a camera with me. So here we're going to use so to replace the phrase. There were lots of exciting moments to capture. Some people were wearing their team's kit. So we have there. What's that referring to? Yep, definitely. Good stuff. The people. Okay, so this is referring to the people. Others were wearing casual clothes. Ah, yes. Thank you for noticing. Others referring to other people. Okay, so we have some people, we have other people. We're wearing casual clothes like I was, even though our team. Okay. Our team, he's talking about himself, his friend, was confident that they would win. Yes. Yes, they is referring to the team. I wasn't expecting them to. Can anyone notice anything here? What's that? Excellent, that is ellipsis. Yep, that's ellipsis. So here we have ellipsis, them to win. We dropped win there. John could see the pitch clearly from his. Thank you, Satish. Yes, we're talking about John here. Seat, and I could. Ah, who can notice something here? Could, I could. Could what? Yep. See the pitch clearly from his seat. Okay, so his. Thank you. Referring to John. And I could too. Okay, so here could referring to C. He had brought a snack with him, so John. And I wish I had. So what's happening here? I wish I had. We have an auxiliary verb here. So what's happening? Yes, it's brought. Yeah, brought a snack. Very good. Neither of us. So neither of us. So here we're talking about John and I. Regretted coming. I put on my cap and started to cheer. Okay, everyone. That's the end of the lesson. Thank you all for attending this lesson and being so active throughout. Hopefully lessons will be resuming after 4 weeks. So thank you all for attending, and if you're watching on YouTube, remember to hit that like button and hit the notification button as well, so you don't miss any more lessons like this. And comment below, tell me what kind of videos you'd like to see. Okay, see you all.